You are now tuned in to The Gifted Gab.
Welcome, guys, again. Another episode of The Gifted Gab. Here with Alex, and we're joined by Tresor. It's a great panel we have here, guys. Great panel, fellow Gab alumni too.
Me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
One of the first guys we actually ever had.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, ever.
This is 19, right? We said 19 or 20. Yeah.
It was definitely not 20.
It was 19
It's
for
not
sure.
20, yeah. 20's
It
pandemic.
was 19.
Yeah.
You know what? It was right after the Raptors won a chip.
That's right, because we had, you came down for that. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And
You had the city blown up with the
That was a good time.
you had to be there.
Raptor foot, yes. Yes.
Yeah, man, that was a good time.
Kind of teaches you like how sometimes you have to hit things in the right moment, and you did with that song. Like, it was just perfect timing for it. All aligned at that for you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, bro. Because I think you have a really neat intersection of like the way your content is set up.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about music.
Mm-hmm.
How music is like, it's like the central theme of like what you're making.
Yeah. I'll say I kind of had to accept that. That wasn't really what I wanted to do. Like, that wasn't my plan. To where when I started making content, I was strictly just skits and comedy. But I would say another tip I would give is you have to find what's your superpower? Like, what is the unique thing that makes you different that you can put a spotlight on? And it kind of came to be that, like, mine is music. And, like, it's not like I wasn't trying to be a rapper, so I started making videos and stuff like that. That was never. I just loved music. And I started incorporating it in videos. It started, I think 2018 was when I first started doing, like, Jamaican remixes of hip-hop songs and UK songs and stuff like that. And then I saw people like that, so I'm like, okay, how can I expand this? And I started doing, like, rapper impressions and just, like, different stuff like that, right? So I saw that is kind of what people like the most. So I'm like, okay, how can I sprinkle this in to make myself unique? And then also it worked hand in hand because it got to a point where people were like, yo, like, why don't you write? Why don't you make music? And I'm like, I never really wanted to do that, but okay, like, I mean, I might as well. So it works, like, on both sides, because on the music side, like, I do have original music, but, like, I don't really call myself an artist. Like, I put music out because I like to put music out, you know? And then I also have, like, my internet stuff. Like, I have 2 different streaming accounts. Like, I am Tresor and I have Tresor Online. And where if I make a video and people really like it, I'll just finish it, throw it on streaming. And that type of stuff works. Like, I have a song with 1.3 million streams, and I don't post about, like, it's just people like the song and they do it. The French song has like 300,000 streams. I probably posted about it once. Like, I don't really, and that's like passive income as well, because, you know, you get money from streaming, and it's not like I'm an artist where that's my livelihood, so I could let it sit for a year and then take all the money out at one time, you know? And then practicing that, like, those were kind of reps, because like you said, like, I'll make songs for videos, but I'm intentionally trying to make them good. Like, I want it to be a good song, even if it's a joke. So that helped with my writing skills. So when I started meeting, like, A&Rs or people that are like, yo, I work for this artist and this artist and this artist. Yo, can you write something for this artist and this artist? I'm like, yeah, I could do it, because I've been doing it anyways. And those people found me also from my video. I remember it was maybe 2019, the first time it happened to me, and I was like, whoa, okay, I could probably do something. I made I think it was like a Roddy Ricch parody. And then this dude that worked with Atlantic, he hit me and he's like, yo, can you make more songs like this? Like, I work with A Boogie, I work with Lil TJ, I work with this and that. I'm like, yeah, I mean, sure. Like, all I'm doing is just making a video and just writing the songs, you know? So I haven't landed any placements yet, but I've definitely been working with a lot of people. I've been traveling a lot. I was in LA for the Grammys last year, just working. That was the first time I ever had, like, a PR team too. I felt like fake imposter syndrome too, because I'm like, yo, what am I doing here? You know, it's crazy. Like, I went to Tyla's birthday party, and you're just in there, and Omarion's walking around, Lonzo Ball's walking around, Chris Brown's there, then a bunch of people are there, and it's crazy. That's why, like, I had that picture with Chris Brown. The thing that pissed me off with the picture with Chris Brown story is like I look so giddy in the photo.
I think I.
But that wasn't what was going on. Let me tell you quickly what happened. So boom, we're at Tyla's birthday party. My homie is Omarion's videographer. So we were kind of just chilling with them. Chris Brown comes in. He's in his little section. You know, I'm not trying to do too much, you know, act like I've been there before. So my manager just goes over, starts talking to him. I come over. I just hail him. I'm like, bro, you're a legend. Keep doing what you're doing. He's like, thank you. I walk away. That's it. We end up going to an after party in kind of like a smaller like bar lounge type
Where
of
was
thing.
it, LA?
Yeah, this is in LA. So I walk in. I just find a random corner. Standing in a random corner. Lou Williams comes in. And he ends up standing beside me, right? So I'm just standing there. Then Chris Brown comes in, sees Lou Williams, comes over to start talking to Lou Williams. So it's literally like this. It's like Lou Williams is over there, Chris Brown's over there. I'm standing right here, kind of just listening to their conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Allen Iverson comes in.
I said AI.
He sees them. He comes to start talking to them. So now it's Lou Williams, Chris Brown, Allen Iverson, and me. And I'm standing there just trying to keep composed because I'm like, yo, what is going on right now? Like, this is insane. So then everyone's drinking. And, you know, I got some liquid courage. And I was like, I'm going to ask him for a picture. So I kind of just tapped him. I'm like, yo, bro, like, I don't want to bother you, but do you mind if we take a pic? He's like, yeah, come on, let's do it. So this is a very dimly lit place. I give my friend the phone, and he's taking pictures, right? And I'm like, yo, use the flash. Like, I'm dark. Like, it's dark in here. Use the flash, bro. So he starts laughing, right? Like, Chris is laughing, and I'm laughing. And I don't know when, like, this is how you know he's a professional, because we're laughing. I don't know when he stopped laughing and posed, but I was still laughing. So my friend takes the pictures. He walks away. I look at the pictures. I'm like, ah. But, like, I can't go back to Chris Brown and be like, hey, actually, can we do this over again? So I kind of just had to make do with what I got, and I'm not going to not post the picture with me and Chris Brown. So, like, I had to just hold it. It is what it is, but that's what happened. He stopped laughing and posed in the middle of me still laughing, and that's why he looks normal and I don't. But we were both laughing.
Yeah.
That's funny, though.
Yeah,
He's camera trained, so I mean,
yeah, bro, it's crazy.
From young, from like 15.
That whole trip was crazy. I went to a Billboard dinner where, like, Paris Jackson was there, and I met Halle Bailey, and you remember Roxy from 106 and Park?
Yeah, bro.
Roxy, we were sitting at a table, and it was like the seat directly in front of me, and she came, and she was like, is anyone sitting here? I was like, like that's the only sound that came out. I was like, yeah. So she sits down. She's so cool. Like, just talking to us regularly. Yeah. We're taking shots. He's drinking. Because she was hosting. She went up, said how, like, we're the futures of music. Like, I became cool with her. Like, that's stuff like that is crazy. Because it's like, how am I now cool with Roxy? Like, I can message
someone
Roxy.
You watch on TV every afternoon.
I have a funny story with her. I was playing on an AAU circuit with Grassroots. We went to Vegas. And this is maybe 2013. Right? On the way back, we stopped at the airport, and I see Roxy there. I was giddy. I had, like, the biggest crush on this girl.
Everyone
did, right? And I see her, so I'm waiting for my flight. The seats we're waiting in, like, kind of like the corridor lobby area. She's, like, literally right over there where those cameras are. I'm here. My mom's beside me to the left, and a couple of my teammates, and I'm like, Mom, like, that's Roxy. My mom didn't watch 106. She's like, who? Who? I was like, Mom, that's Roxy. Like, I pull up a picture. I'm like, it's her. She's like, oh, okay. I was nervous. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to the washroom. I'll be back. She's like, oh, okay. So I get back. Roxy and my mom are talking. They're like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, what's going on here? What'd you do, Mom? She's like, and then Roxy's like, oh, I heard you Andre? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, your mom was telling me about you. I'm like, that is crazy. This is someone that I grew up watching. My mom made the connect, and now, like, to know that she's this personable, this humble, and she's like, listen, whatever you do, keep doing it. At that time, like, we all had those hoop dreams. She's like, I better see in the league. Didn't happen, but hey, we're in a different league now. But it's
you might have to pull up on her.
I might.
Word.
But that's the time, man. I'm like, it kind of really broke down that pedestal we all kind of put these celebrities on. Of course, they're in a different limelight, but they're humans just
still
like
people.
us.
They're humans, man.
It was
That's-
beautiful. It was
yeah.
beautiful.
And that's what that trip taught me is like, all these people are just people, bro.
Yeah.
And if you just talk to them normally, they'll talk back.
Yeah.
Some people, of course, some people are weird. Some people are like gassed up in their head. But a majority of the people that I've met have been cool. You know, like people are super cool. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I love about LA too. Just the proximity you are to everyone and how easy it is to get in those spaces.
I was in Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles and ran into, his name's Jabari, the dude who plays Will Smith on Fresh.
Yeah,
the new
yeah,
Fresh.
The new
Prince.
Fresh
yeah.
Prince,
I ran into Jabari in Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Start talking to him. He told me how he was starting to make music. I'm like, yo, like I write and I produce. He's like, okay, yeah, take my number down. Boom, boom, boom. Cool with him now. Saw him again that last trip at, I feel so yucky, like just name dropping all these people. But yeah, we were at SZA's after party for the Grammys. Saw him again. He's like, yo, you've been going crazy online, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, you remember me? Like, that's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Stuff like that. But that party
It's
was
nuts.
crazy too. They're like giving away New Balances, and she didn't even
Yeah.
show up. But
She
That's
didn't show up
crazy.
to
she
her
didn't
own-
show up to her own party.
That's wild.
That's
bro.
crazy.
It was like mad other Kiki Palmer, French Montana, Bia, a whole bunch of people, but she didn't show up.
Yeah, it's a different tax bracket there.
Yeah.
It's a different tax bracket. But yeah, it's hard to run into that in Toronto, man. It's the closest thing I could imagine is summertime, Caravana weekend or
Caravana weekend,
TIFF,
or
really.
unless you're like at Drake's house or something where the celebrities pop up.
yeah,
But
exactly.
it's hard. But yeah, that proximity though, it helps because that just leads to opportunities.
Absolutely.
There was another dude I met at the same, after meeting Jabari in the Roscoe's, I'm walking out the Roscoe's and I hear a dude with a British accent. And I just start talking to him. Turns out he runs a label in London
That's
that
crazy.
has like Russ and a bunch of like the other drill guys. So I'm like, yo, so let's work. He's like, yeah, take my number. Like,
Yeah.
just going to get food. One day, just going to get
But that's how it works, though. Like
Yeah.
people like to do stuff and work with people that they like. Like it's not always obviously people talk about like it's always about like, oh, reach out and cold email and this and this. But in reality, it's in these scenarios
Yeah.
where you can become personable. You can
sure.
show someone like just what type of guy you are based off, you know what I'm saying? And energy don't lie too, right?
And you know what the thing is too? I think of course, people that are from live in LA are from there, but I think a majority in the spaces that you're in are people that are going there for a specific reason,
Yeah.
and they're all looking to connect,
Everyone's
all
trying
looking
to work
together.
Everyone's trying to
It's-
hustle.
Yeah.
That's what I like about places like that, where it's like, if you need someone, like you could find someone that does anything.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Very easily. I like that. And that's another thing that I did a lot last year, but I'm doing even more this year is like, you gotta be there. Like whatever you're
Gotta
trying to
be
do,
there.
like, you kind of have to just
Got to be outside the house, man.
There was one of the A&Rs told me, and he works with a lot of the rappers. He's like, bro, like I could plug you with so many artists, but you have to be here because they don't like sending stuff online just in case it gets leaked and stuff like that. They're like, yo, like, and he'll literally text me just casually daily. He'll be like, I'm in the studio with Roddy Ricch. I'm in the studio with SZA. I'm in the studio with A Boogie. Bro, you just gotta pull up. Like, if you're here, you could come. Like, you just have to be here. So this year, I'm like, all right, I'm taking more trips for sure. Like, I gotta just be there.
That whole idea of like out of sight, out of mind, it's so real across every industry. Like I had one of my teachers when I was in acting school had this story about specific casting agents. And specific casting agents, they like to cast normally the same people in different shows, right?
Yeah.
And it's usually the same people that they're always seeing, that they're running into in person, that they have great relationships with. And it really taught me that as an actor, as a creative, I have to put myself out there. It's important for them to see me, whether it's on the roads or from a trailer of a short film, like making sure that I'm available to be seen in those
definitely
in those ways.
And I feel like with traveling, being from Canada, we look at it a little differently because we don't travel that much, even just because traveling around Canada is very expensive. And also because we don't have that many major cities. Like, there's not really
There's not even 5 really,
travel.
yeah.
It's different because when I like would be in the States or like I'm talking to my American homies, they're so used to traveling and they travel all the time because it's like people move to different cities all the time, or even for when they're young. people go to colleges in different states all the time. So it's like, if you're from New York, but you want to move, okay, you probably know someone that lives in LA. You know someone that lives in Miami. You know someone that lives in Atlanta. Like here, it's a bit harder for us because we don't really have those
People in
even
those
just
different
initial
cities, yeah.
connections to like just know one person out there.
Yeah.
But
On
yeah,
top of
gotta
that
change
too, man, you could drive in Ontario for hours and still be in
Still
Ontario.
be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
have you done the West Coast drive, like from Edmonton to Toronto?
No, I don't think I'll ever do that.
One of my teammates did it. It's 3 days.
Yeah, it's 30 hours.
My dad did it actually when he was in college from Brandon U in Manitoba
It's a lot of
to
land.
PEI.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
at that time I think it was about 4 days he did it.
4 days?
Yeah, it was a 4-day trip.
See, I can't do that.
It's not.
It was a it's a 4-day trip.
That's
We're talking the 80s too, early 80s. So,
I did the drive to New York once from Toronto. Never
oh
again.
man. Yeah, you remember
Bro, I was on a coach bus to Florida.
From here?
Toronto.
Oh, that's dirty work.
Oh my
That's
God. I would
dirty
never
work.
do it again.
No,
It was
no,
for
no.
work though. Like I was emceeing a grad trip, but they put us on a coach bus. Oh my God. I felt
nasty.
Nah,
I felt like it was never gonna end.
that's dirty
It
work.
was like
yeah.
20 something hours.
Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
I will never ever do that again in my life.
The longest I ever drove was from North Carolina back to Toronto. That was
I've done
about
that.
that was about a I think
Like
a
10
12.
hours, 10, 12.
Yeah, with stops.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done North Carolina.
Yeah, that was actually going to prep school at the time, and that one felt forever. It's beautiful though because you got to go through the mountains, the Appalachians.
You see everything. Do you remember when? Because we're at that age. You remember when being in prep school actually used to mean something?
Gosh, do you remember when having a mixtape actually used to mean something,
Yeah.
Games change.
bro?
There's
when
a
you had
prep score in every corner now.
I had this conversation with a homie the other day about like how when you had like a hoop mixtape, like you had to
We're
earn
elite.
that.
Yeah.
You had to be-
can't-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
You
can't
had to be
make
a
that
guy.
yourself. Yeah, you had
You
to
were
be
going
a
to the
guy.
NBA if you had a hoop,
You know what I mean?
mixtape.
You're at
People
Pitt
thought you were
Jam
going
Fest.
to the league.
Yeah.
If you had a hoop mixtape or a Ball is Life mixtape.
Man, you were up. Even if it was just one highlight. If you got like a one little highlight, you're good.
Yeah, in a mixtape like top dunks
Top-
of the year,
yeah, top-
and you had one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
You're
out
good.
of here.
The game's
you went
changed,
to
man.
prep school.
Yeah. Prep
You
was looked
had
at
it.
as like, because nowadays every school's a prep.
Which is crazy.
Every school's a prep. Every OBA program's a prep. I don't know if even OBA is a thing anymore. Is it?
I
I
don't
don't
even
think so. I don't think so still.
I think it's
Finesse.
just straight AAU.
That's crazy
For the
to me,
year.
bro.
No, they have another one, OCSA or something like that now.
OS is it OSBA?
There's OSBA, but there's another one too for like the prep
Oh.
schools.
Oh,
It's changed
wow,
a lot,
yeah.
bro. There's no OFSA no more. Like
No way, there's no offset.
I think there's still OFSA
That's
for like
crazy.
public schools, but I don't think like the prep
Oh,
schools
man.
playing that stuff. Like
Yeah, nah.
it's different, bro.
That's
It's changed a
wild,
lot.
man.
Like hoops has
It's
changed.
crazy. But also like I like it because now there's more opportunity for kids, but also it's like a lot of y'all, and I don't want to seem like the old guys that are hating, but it's like a lot of these kids don't deserve it. Like you see the kids playing on certain teams and you're like, yo, they're not good. But there's just so many teams
Yeah.
now that like you could find your way onto a team.
It's
But back
accessible,
then when
yeah.
it was like 5 teams for
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
you really had to be good.
And what that does actually, it lowers the price for these kids to play. I remember back in the day, the only programs that were free was like Yace and I think Etobicoke had like some discounted programs, but every other
got to pay.
team, Monarchs,
Pay to play, yeah.
Monarchs was taxing St. David's, Brampton as well.
Had to pay.
All these teams had to pay.
And like if your family can't afford it, then
Yeah, it's
you
tough.
just can't play.
It's tough. One of my close friends, he couldn't make it on the Monarchs because at the time you couldn't pay.
No, they figure
know
out a
what I
way.
mean?
If you're good enough, they figure out a way.
If you're
Yeah,
good
if
enough
you're
to figure
good
it
enough,
out, yeah.
they'll let
They'll-
it
they'll-
parents
they'll-
like-
they'll
chip
figure it
in,
out.
yeah.
Figure
if
it
you
out.
were like mid-level,
Yeah,
tough
yeah,
system.
you're on your own, buddy.
Yeah, you better head to Yace. But
Yeah.
there's some dogs at Yace at those times,
Yeah,
man. There's
Yace,
some,
you
some
better-
dogs.
Ace is in the
What?
trenches. That's why.
Yeah,
bro.
some dogs there.
Bro, I remember like the goal. Everyone just like wanted to go to Finley Prep or
Finley or Huntington,
or one of the Montverde or someone.
Montverde, yep.
Man,
Freaking,
but I brought that up because I got invited to the All Canada Classic this year, like to come watch. Bro, these kids are different now.
Yeah.
They're different. Like even though there's more opportunity, I was gonna say the training has improved so much that these kids aren't regular, bro. every single kid from the point guard to the center is jumping out the gym. It doesn't matter if they're 5'8", 5'10", jumping out the gym. Everyone's very skilled. I think also, you know what it is? Because remember back when we were younger, like we got sold the propaganda that working out would stunt your growth.
Yeah.
These kids are working out from young, so they're fit. I don't know what they're feeding them. All these guys are huge, like super talented. All those kids that played in the All Canada Classic, they all have like offers. They're going to Virginia Tech, Alabama. They're going to Kansas, Kentucky. They're going to like crazy places, and they're playing in prep here.
Yeah.
And you're getting that was unheard of to go to UNC from Canada.
Yeah,
and you stayed
That was
here.
unheard of.
Kentucky when Jamal did it, but now
Jamal
we're
was the one I
seeing-
think who broke the mold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say Thompson and Corey.
No, but they went to the States. Jamal never went to
True.
the States.
Yeah, that is true. Yes, that is true. Because bro, how many leaguers are Canadian right now? It's crazy.
It's a lot.
We're in
We're the second most
It's
outside of
even-
America.
it's
We're
to
the
the-
most outside of America.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where it's like there's people and on the announcements they'll say that they're Canadian and it's like I didn't even know.
who is this.
Like I've never heard of this person before.
yeah.
And you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what from even when Shay popped on the scene, I didn't know who Shay was.
Oh, I knew who Shay
like,
was.
wait,
I know.
At
Yeah,
Kentucky.
He's from
Yeah, yeah.
Hamilton?
Yeah.
That was crazy. And then
Yeah.
there's even the random dudes that are from random places.
Bro, it's tons, man.
Crazy.
Even from Peel, man. Tons from Peel. Tons from
Good time to be Canadian, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So are we gonna get an album one day? Is that something on the cusp?
As of right now, no. But we never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm more trying to, on the music side at least, I'm trying to stay more behind the scenes with the songwriting. Like, because especially like we said, I know how the music industry goes. And honestly, like the real bag is in the songwriting. Like, unless you're really gonna be like an artist that has a hit too. That's the caveat. Like, you could be an artist, but if you don't have a hit, a lot of these guys they're not really making any money, bro.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
exploited. It's very
facades.
exploitative, man. It's very
It's a lot of facades and it's a very exploitative. I just never understood that. Like, people have asked me, like, yo, would you sign a deal? And I'm like, I would if it made sense and if the price was right. But, like, I just don't. It's not 2000, bro. It's like there's no point in signing a deal just because. Like, I don't even really understand when, say, dudes will get a viral hit and then automatically sign a deal. And now it's like the label is just taking all the
Everything
money
you own.
from
Your
that
autonomy.
viral hit.
Yeah.
You might as well have just stayed independent and use that money to like then fund whatever you were trying to do. So
because the label just provides the reach and the resources.
Yeah.
If you could figure out those two yourself,
Yeah.
then the label becomes obsolete.
It's almost like a status symbol just to sign deals.
yeah,
at this
just
point,
to say you're on a
really.
label.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that doesn't
There's-
mean much now.
There's a few artists, I won't name drop, that signed some big deals. I remember in like 2010, 11, 12,
Yeah.
13 that come to mind that aren't really kicking around now just because of that. It can be very exploitative, like you
and
said.
a lot of this stuff is facades.
Yeah.
They're renting jewelry, renting cars, renting chains, renting clothes.
Bro, I saw this episode, bro, man, like this big artist, man, everything he was wearing was fake. He's like, nothing I have is real. This is not real. This I'm like, oh.
Was it Tyrese?
Yes. I'm like, bro, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
It's crazy. Tyrese has a very iconic like some viral hits.
Oh my God.
That
My
was
Shayla.
wasn't that only that was one session. He had oh my God.
It was
my-
so he had that, and then he had the. I pay $50,000 a month. What more do you want from me?
like, bro,
Oh my God.
bro, that's one guy's talk about vulnerable.
Tyrese.
I think there's also delusion with music.
There's a delusion with music.
Sure.
There's a delusion with acting. There's a delusion with podcasting.
Oh
I
yeah.
think those three are the heaviest.
And sports. Yeah.
There's a thin line though. You need a bit of delusion.
Yes.
You do, for sure.
You definitely need a bit of delusion. But I see a lot of guys get in the studio, no technical knowledge, no fundamental ability of like the basics of music, like sheet music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the difference between certain instruments? Like, some people can get in there and can tell what instruments are on a beat and stuff like that. There's none of that. Just some people walking into the booth, talking about their problems. And that's another thing. It's like, to me, I think in like for art, if you're making like art to connect with people. It only connects if it's personal.
Exactly.
You know, if it's not personal, you have a really difficult time like making something that feels authentic.
Yeah.
You know?
Authentic. Yeah. You can make a hit that's not authentic, but yeah, for longevity, I think you kind of do need that.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing with the delusion with music is, I think people that are successful in music specifically that I've noticed is like, you have to be able to view yourself from outside yourself. Like, I think that's a question that a lot of people that make music don't ask is like, yo, if I was not me, would I listen to this? The answer is probably no.
Yeah, removing
Like
that
if this was a
bias.
random guy who made this song, would I listen to this? And would
Yeah.
I think it's fire? Most times it's usually not.
Yeah.
You have to be able to identify that. Even me, myself, I'll make certain stuff and I'll be like, this sucks. Like you just have to know. You
That's-
can't feel like everything you make is amazing.
That's being honest with yourself. And that's something that's so hard, like, because you want to always be, you always want to be your best fan, but it's important to always be your worst critic. Like the way I'm writing sometimes, and I think there's so much similarity between writing music and writing film and TV.
It is for sure.
Of course, you talked about like being relatable as well too, but I think when you try to connect to everyone, you end up connecting to no one. And also at the same time, again, you have to be very honest and critical about your craft, because if not, you're gonna think everything's greatness.
Yeah.
By the end of it, you're cooked.
But that's like, I think what you were saying about writing. I think writing's writing. I don't care if it's a song, film, story, whatever. But like, there's a point where it's like about quantity, because you don't know what's good until you've written enough to know that, okay, like this works and this doesn't. But like a lot of people get in there and they think everything's a hit, everything's a must watch, everything is that, but that's not how it works.
It's not realistic.
And that's the reps come from like that experimentation.
Did you hear about that law of thirds, where 33% of the time you're supposed to feel really terrible about your work. The other 33 is supposed to feel okay, and the last 33 you're supposed to feel like phenomenally exceptional about it.
That makes sense. That kind of goes into like the 80-20 rule too.
Yes.
Where it's like 80% of your success comes from like 20% of your outputs. So 80% of the stuff that you do, it's not gonna amount to anything. Like you're just doing it to practice.
It's just reps.
That's definitely true for sure. Because you think about anyone who has hit songs or viral videos or anything, it's like Jay-Z probably has 300 songs, and it's probably like 20 hits, 25, 30 big hits. So it's not a big percentage of the stuff that you do.
And don't forget, like, he was actually, because the Reasonable Doubt came out when he was 26. And he tried getting into record business, like, maybe when he was 18, 19 years old. He was shipping around tapes. Nobody was messing with him. He left rap. So he had a bunch of reps that you could say didn't count for anything because he never got signed.
Yeah.
But then when he became Jay-Z, it helps.
Sure.
It's like you're refined. You already know what you want to make and don't want to make, right? And people don't think about. I was saying this last time. Like, everything you do before counts. It counts towards whatever you do end up doing.
Yeah, that's why I don't judge people that suck. Like, if you make music and it sucks, or if you make videos and it sucks, that's fine, because everyone sucks at the beginning. It's like you said, you have to be aware enough to know that like do your reps behind the scenes till you get at least decent. Like, there's nothing wrong with being bad, but like, people are going in the studio for the first time, putting out the first song they've ever made ever. That makes no sense.
Hoping it's a banger. And I think it's a curse if actually the first song you make is a banger, because you're going to expect, first of all, the fans, everyone's going to expect that to follow up, and it's a recipe for disaster. And I think the longer you do something, bro, you're inevitably going to get great at it. It's what Nipsey said, right? Like, you just didn't quit. That's all it is, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
So...
But you are a songwriting machine, bro. Yeah. I'm like, every time this nigga posts a video, I'm like, yo, what?
I tried, man. You know.
I saw you had a pilot one. There was a pilot one.
The pilot one was funny,
right? Yeah.
I actually I think I dropped another one yesterday.
Yeah?
Was the Slizzy one?
Was it the Cash Cobain?
Cash Cobain
one, yeah. But the one that blew up was the Gunna pilot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has like 3 million views or something on TikTok and Instagram.
How do you come up with these ideas? Do they just kind of just on a random day, on a random walk, or do you kind of consult with someone else? You have
I have a few
collaborators?
different ways. I always just reference life. Like whenever if I'm having a conversation or something and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, I'll just write it down. So I have a notes app with like thousands of ideas. And then when I'm ready to film, I'll just go through and pick. But I also sometimes I'll like have dedicated brainstorming times where I'll just sit down and try and think of some stuff, or I'll go on like a random word generator and like see if a word can spark an idea for something, just stuff like that usually.
I think your formula is a great blueprint for an artist trying to make it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like you're putting out stuff constantly, so the market is giving you feedback on it.
Yeah.
And it slaps. Like, it actually slaps, you know?
Yeah, you got to play the game a little bit and like do what people like and then sprinkle in what you want to do, like just some originality stuff. Because right now, my schedule now is, I think I drop maybe like 5 times a week, and I'll do like 3 videos that are like proven concepts, and then 2 where I'll just experiment. So it's like you're not burning yourself out doing a bunch of stuff that you don't even want to do anymore.
Yeah.
But, you know?
I'd imagine that's the challenge, right? Is splitting the line between what the audience want, but also what feels authentic to you, right? And that's a problem a lot of artists can get lost into, is being worried about like the outside opinions and not trusting what this is telling you.
Yeah,
right.
It depends. It depends what your goals are. Like, if you just want growth, there's certain things you could do to grow and get numbers that, like, it's not necessarily. It's like it's not hard to get views when you really know what to do. It's just the quality of the view. That's what matters. Cause like, I could run outside in my underwear and jump in the snow right now and get 10 million views. That means nothing.
That means nothing.
No, like that's. So it really just depends what you're trying to do. Do you want growth? Are you trying to build a community? Are you trying to get brand deals? It's all different. Like you have to attack it in different ways.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I mean, you think you're an early adopter because when did you start making content? 2019, 2018,
Bro, I remember
2017?
right after high school, no, or
like,
during high school.
High school, I'll say maybe 2013.
Oh wow, you've been
I
there.
started. Yeah, probably like 2013, and I haven't really stopped since. And I don't think I started getting more notoriety, I'd say maybe around 2018, 2019. But I was making content the whole time. And then I wouldn't say it really, like I was full-time since then. I quit my last job in 2018. But I wouldn't really say I was really like making any type of real money till like 2020, 2021. So I basically went almost 10 years just figuring it out. I'm living off my OSAP and a couple of dollars that I get here and there from a couple hosting gigs, but it wasn't really bringing in no bread for real before.
Yeah. I remember, bro, I'm proud of your growth, bro, because I remember in high school, we didn't really talk much, but I remember like when I did see you, you're super quiet.
Yeah.
And like to see you now is like, it's like a night and day type of experience.
It's funny.
Bro. I don't know if anyone told you that, eh?
Yeah, nah, people tell me that all the time.
I'm like, bro, this is
all the time. Because I was one of those people where it was like, I was cool with everyone, but I was kind of just in the back. Like I was chilling. I was pretty reserved, but like I knew everyone, but like I was kind of just there, you know? And I was fine with that. Like I never really, like I wasn't one of those people that was trying to do too much. I kind of was just living my life.
You're just
and
chilling.
that's it. Yeah. And then, I guess I kind of just found my voice more over the years, and the more I grew up. And people tell me that it's definitely a different, it's a different vibe than what they knew me as before, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting how, I wouldn't even call that a flaw, but for this example, it's interesting how sometimes like, our flaws can turn into like our greatest strengths. Like I remember growing up, I had a speech impediment. And I went to speech therapy when I was like maybe 3 or 4. I still stutter from time to time, but I didn't say a word till I think I was like maybe 3 or 4 years old. My mom and dad were like super concerned, right? So they take me to this speech therapist. I would go to lessons, end up talking, and then now I'm at a point where I'm actually making money off of my voice. And so it's crazy to see
That's
that
crazy.
growth.
I did not know that,
bro. It's crazy. Yeah,
That's actually crazy.
it's crazy to see how God and like just the way you're surrounded, it can turn your biggest weaknesses into strengths.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm so thankful for that, bro. But I actually put two and two together like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh, I'm really doing this thing, and I'm using something that I wasn't able to use before.
Yeah.
You know.
That's really impressive. I just learned something new about this nigga.
Yeah,
this
speech-
nigga
yeah,
do the
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah,
He had a speech
yeah.
impediment.
And
Yeah,
it's
fam.
funny because even from back then, now that I look back on it, like I kind of was always passively doing stuff like that was artistic. Because I was always artistic, and I always, from when I was young, like I wanted to be a Disney actor. Like that was my
For real?
main thing. I wanted.
I
to
can
be
see you.
a
I can
Disney
see you
actor.
doing that.
I
though.
can see it still. I
No,
can see it.
100%.
So bad. I wanted to be on Disney Channel so bad. And then I remember going to like this audition for, there was like a film school that they were like, it was almost like a Disney sweatshop where it's like they were like recruiting young kids that they wanted to put in the Disney pipeline, like from super young.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went, and I was one of the kids that got chosen, but they wanted like hella money up front, and my mom was not
man.
going for that. And
Yeah,
I kind of just stopped. I also remember maybe like 15 or 16 just being like, like, let me just try and download Fruity Loops and see what I could do. And I made beats for like 1 or 2 days, and I was like,
Yeah.
And I just stopped. Like, so there was hints. I was like writing verses for no reason when I was like 15, just on pieces of paper and just throwing them away.
I was doing that at like 12 years old.
Yeah,
Still,
I never even thought that that's what I wanted to do, but I was
Yeah.
just kind of doing it just because.
Yeah, I think as we're kids, we know what we want to do as kids, but it's about kind of returning back to that that experience.
Yeah.
I think that's when you know, like we all know, like going back to what we're passionate about at that age. It's interesting. I remember you had that story about you waiting in lines as a kid, auditioning.
Yeah, my mom brought me to like some auditions, me and my bro.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you guys have long hair. You guys have so many different looks." And da. And I'm like, "Mom, I ain't trying to do this shit. Like, take me to the basketball court." Like,
That was when the racially ambiguous kids were on top.
You guys are, I won't lie, man. You dark skins
You
are
ain't
up now.
far off. I thought about you guys were. You ain't far off. You guys are basically the same skin tone.
Bro, I grew up thinking I was like dark skin, you know. Brown. I swear I was growing up
crazy.
like that. Then someone hit me like, "No, you're light." I'm like, "I'm not light skinned, bro. You know what I mean, I don't know what you're talking about." But it's such an interesting
we do an item.
experience. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's funny, bro. I don't know why, like, the light-skinned black people, not mixed people, light-skinned
yeah.
black people refuse to accept that you're light. It's
Bro,
okay. There's
I'm
nothing
not-
wrong.
Hey,
I'm not telling you, like, I'm not saying you're half white or nothing.
Yeah.
Just accept it. You're light.
Yeah. No, my mom's half white though.
Oh, well,
my grandpa's white.
what are we talking about then? So, case closed. You know?
Oh man,
1/4.
Tough system.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
You
no,
did
tough
your
system.
so you're Congolese and Jamaican. That's a crazy
It's a
mix.
crazy mix. I know you got
Crazy
some backfire for that, eh? People,
Oh,
because I know I'm half Jamaican and we get it bad sometimes, man.
yeah. Being African and Jamaican, I've heard it all.
Oh,
Yeah, I've heard it all.
You might be the key to the division in the black community.
absolutely.
Or the bridge.
The bridge,
Yeah.
yeah. You might be that.
Bridge
You
the
might
gap,
be that
yeah.
that glue guy.
Yeah.
I like it though, cause I got to see both sides, and I definitely have influences from both sides. Like, my mom and my dad weren't together, so it's not like I grew up with it in the house. But like I'm really close with like my cousins on my Congolese side, and then obviously
Who's what? Who's
my dad's Congolese, my mom's Jamaican. So I grew up with all the Jamaicans, but I'm really close with like my cousins and my aunt and my uncle on that side. They all speak French, listen to that type of music, all that type of stuff. So I don't speak French, but
that French song was hilarious. This nigga was just saying straight bullshit. But it was a banger.
Which one is this?
one of the
Blue, Francophone.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why I got to go to the Olympics.
Yes. I remember last time you told me about that experience, bro.
Yeah.
Talk about that again, man? Because you went there for free.
Yeah, that was crazy. So, yeah. They never said it was directly related, but it just happened, like you were saying about timing. I dropped like this fake French song maybe like 2 weeks before, and then I got an email about how TikTok was bringing creators to Paris to do like some content around being in Paris during the Olympics. And I was like, what? Because the person who sent it to me like said it so passively. I was like, wait a minute, like, what are you talking about? They're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna like, we're gonna set up your ticket and stuff. I'm like, okay. And they were taking a while, so I didn't even know if it was gonna happen. I didn't get my ticket, like my flight details, till maybe like 2 or 3 days before I was supposed to leave. So yeah, we went to Paris. They flew us business class, Air France. That was the first time I've ever been in business class.
Business class is a little
like,
different still. It's different, a little different still.
Like, I completely understand.
You can't go back now.
Yeah.
I get it.
Terrible.
I went back. I went back. But
They treat you different.
they treat you different. You get through the airport mad fast. You get to stay in the lounge. They got free food, free alcohol, the lie flat beds. 'Cause that flight, the flight to Paris was like 6.5 hours. It felt like nothing. The beds is
Pretty
the
cozy.
biggest game changer.
How's the food? Did they serve?
The food was all right. The
Depends
food's
who you're
not
flying
that
with.
big
Who
of-
did you?
Yeah.
What you did business too?
Yeah, I've done it before. Yeah.
Who did you fly with when you?
I've done Delta. I've done Air Canada has like a first class kind of like
You guys ever flew Emirates?
no.
I've never been to.
I was there last year. They
Dubai.
have. I was in Dubai last year. On the flight, I was just flying regular, but regular on Emirates, it felt like business class on the WestJet.
Yeah.
Where you have like an ample amount of leg room. They have these like controllers that look like a PSP.
Yeah.
In front of, and they have this whole flat screen TV in front of you, and you can play games on this thing. I'm playing like you can have every other game you can play. You can watch movies, you can do the whole 9 yards. But the food was amazing, freaking fantastic. They had like ravioli. Felt like I was having like a 5-star Michelin type meal on the flight.
Yeah.
It was a great experience overall, but
It's crazy.
it's hard for me to, like you're saying, to go
It's
back
hard
to
to go
that
back, yeah.
WestJet.
Because now
on
I'll be
TV.
thinking low key. I'll be like looking at flights and I'm like, like this is expensive, but maybe I should. I'm trying to rationalize it in my head. Like, okay, if I travel once every 3 months, spend this couple thousand, like it's not that much by the end of the year. Like I'm trying to rationalize it in my brain, but
I've rationalized it.
know.
Sometimes I feel like we're getting to that age now where the experience matters.
It does.
Like
Absolutely
the
does.
convenience and the experience matters.
Because especially if you travel a
lot.
lot,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize like traveling wears on your body. Like it's tiring to travel, and to make it as pleasant as comfortable makes such a big difference. So yeah, it was great. We went to Paris. They picked us up sprinters with like the TikTok logo, and we're in sprinters like back to back to back to back. Like people are trying to look and see who it is because it was crazy. We went to the Team USA house. I didn't see nobody in there. I don't know where I was when Steph Curry's family was walking around, but apparently everyone else said they saw them. I got to chill with some of the athletes, went to a few events, got to go to the Olympics. I wanted to go to the basketball games, but those tickets were impossible.
I was gonna say how
They sent us to beach volleyball, and they sent us to the athletics the day that Canada won the relay, and the day that Sha'Carri Richardson and them won their relay. Like we saw that day in a box in the stadium. Unlimited drinks. I'm there drinking Henny. I'm the only person in there drinking Henny. Everyone is drinking wine and
Such a
I said
Right,
Henny. Oh,
wine
that's
and stuff.
This guy said it with a hard R too. That's crazy, right?
You're gonna have to bleep that. You don't want to get monetized.
I'm not trying to get those sponsors.
Yeah, you don't want no brand.
Oh,
okay.
jeez. The Henny's
But yeah.
crazy though. 2020. It was 20. This is last year, right?
But see, the thing is, in Paris, the alcohol selection is very limited. It's like they drink wine, they drink champagne, and they drink cognac. That's it. Like you're not getting no tequila. You're not getting like it doesn't exist. So Henny was the only thing available for real. The Henny's not my first choice, but that was the only thing available. So yeah, that was fun. It low-key, it had me for a second. I'm like, I should really get back in the gym. You know, like seeing the athletes and just seeing how, like, I really rated it. Like just how dedicated someone is just to something. Like I really admired it because it's like those guys and girls don't play around, bro. You're working out 6 times a week, 2 a days, eating right, tracking calories, everything. Like their
For 2
schedule
minutes.
is so rigid.
You're doing that for 2 minutes every 4
4
years.
years
Yeah.
for 2 minutes. And after that, that's when I started to get an interest in track and field now. Like,
Oh,
I
really?
actually follow track and field now. And Netflix has a series called Sprint. So I was watching that while I was there. So like I actually follow track and field. It's super cool. A lot of those track athletes, they're crazy. But I would say low-key, I think like women's track is more exciting than men's track.
Yeah?
Because it's better storylines in terms of like the people. Like they have more personalities. And I don't know when like the track girls started looking like they do.
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
it definitely helps them now because they're super marketable. Like it's like track and basketball. We know what they used to look like. Right? We ain't got to say too much, but we know what they used to look like. They don't look like that anymore.
No, it's different
leave
now.
it at that.
Yeah.
They
It's
look
different.
The
different.
WNBA knows what they're doing. They
For
know what they're
sure.
doing.
Yeah.
You know,
You've been watching like women's basketball? Like,
bro,
WNBA,
I haven't watched the
college and stuff?
basketball. I won't lie to you. I haven't watched a basketball game front to back since I stopped
wow.
playing, bro. I'll be.
I feel that.
I just see highlights these days.
It was since when the Raptors won.
Yeah.
That was kind of it for me.
I only watch specific people though, especially if I'm watching like women's basketball. I'm watching Juju Watkins.
Mhm.
She's a problem.
She's a dog.
She's a problem.
Old.
She's a dog.
She's one I would say can cook some guys.
Yeah.
100%.
And I don't know if girls like take that offensively when people say that like a girl hoops like a guy, but
They
the
should.
Juju hoops like a guy.
Bro, if we put her in a run, she's one of those people I would say. We had this earlier discussion where like no NBA player could compete with an NBA player. She can compete, I think, with some D3. You know,
No, people need to understand it's not a skill thing. Like
Yeah.
skill wise, she's
Just
better than a lot of
absolutely. They would
NBA
just
guys.
overpower
It's just
her.
it's a strength.
She's
thing.
sheer
tall,
size, yeah,
but
she's like
just
six-
over. She's like 6'2", I think.
6'2", yeah,
But yeah, they
She's-
would overpower her strength wise. But
yeah.
if she has the ball first and
Yeah.
she's hitting her shots, it could be a long day for them.
She frying you guys?
Definitely,
She's cooking you?
Yeah, well,
cooking me.
now, yes.
she's cooking me.
I have not played basketball in a
Actually, no, yeah. You just got off. Yeah, you just got off.
Yeah, I came off of
surgery, yeah.
freaking Achilles.
Yeah, you're
injury.
cooked.
My cardio is on F. I've not played basketball in an extremely long time.
Oh, man.
yeah, Juju's beating me.
Yeah. I'm saying no to a lot of the runs.
No,
now.
she's not-
I'm seeing a lot of guys in my age cohort. The Achilles is blown out. And it's like I've met like 6-7 guys that are like,
Yeah.
oh, I tore my Achilles.
Can we talk about this new men's league kind of wave that's going on in the city? Like every guy that has retired now is part of these leagues. It's almost like a hoop mixtape they're getting. It's pretty it's in depth. Like these guys are going runs, tracking stats, highlight tapes, talking trash. I'm like, oh,
It's college.
It's college all over again. Yeah.
You're paying to play
It's a
basketball.
whole series. Yeah.
There's no education anymore.
There's none.
Me personally, that's not for me. But I mean, if that's what brings y'all joy, go
More
ahead,
power
man.
to
If,
you.
It is
you
what it
know,
is, yeah.
Your job's stressful. You look forward to the weekend to play that one men's league game. Go ahead, but you won't catch me there.
No.
I'll be there in support.
I did it one time. They got me. They got me. Got one. And this is the worst time where they only post you. There's one time I was in the league. They only posted me getting cooked. I was so offended because my homies are sending it to me. I'm like, bro. I'm like, listen. I had like 30 on this guy. They're showing me getting blown by to the basket. I'm like, all right, guys. I'm done with this league. It's defamation of character.
Yeah, I like the competitiveness, but I just don't. I don't know.
For me, it's the injuries though. Because if you work 9 to 5s, we have other things we're doing. It's like I can't. There's so much at risk now that we actually have to take account.
Imagine showing up to work on crutches.
Tore your ACL trying to dunk it on
That's
the men's
wild.
league.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Oh man, yeah. When's the last injury you had?
I'm injured right now.
You are? What
My
happened?
foot. Funny enough, bro, I was in the gym. I was at LA Fitness. That was my first mistake. And I was walking by the gym, like the ball gym, to go work out, like after I was stretching. And then this guy popped out. He's like, yo, like, you want to hop on a run? I'm like, nah. Because I don't hoop in the gym. I go strictly to work out. I'm like, nah, I'm not even wearing the right shoes. Like, he's like, nah, come on, please. Like, we just need one more for an extra game. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go play. I'm wearing Yeezys.
Oh, that's your first mistake.
Ooh.
That was your second mistake.
Yeah.
Hold on, which ones? Are the
I was
ones,
already
the ones like
telling
the
them.
socks, like the 350s?
No. I can't remember which one
Ooh,
they're
okay.
called. But they're
Yeah.
almost, they're sock-like, but they look like the alien ones with like the squiggly bottom.
Okay, yes.
I don't
Yeah.
remember which ones those were, but I was wearing those. Mashed up my pinky toe, and to this day I'm still hurt.
Oh man.
I couldn't walk for like a week. Now I could walk, but my foot still hurts
Yeah,
bad. Like,
yeah.
I had no business doing that.
Yeah,
I had no business.
I know those ones.
That was my
worst.
recent
It's the worst.
minor injury. My last major injury, I dislocated my shoulder in like 2018, I think. I have not been the same since.
Yeah, those are those lingering ones too. Those are
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah, my range of motion is not the same. Sometimes I can't go too heavy. Like,
Yeah,
it sucks.
I work with a guy. He can't lift his hands over his head because of that same injury. It's terrible. Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
I dislocated my kneecap
Ooh.
right before college. Kneecap was like literally on the side of my knee. It was disgusting. I landed on a guy's knee and it just, whoop. I'm like, okay, whoa. I knew right away something was gone.
Damn.
Yeah, no, that's not worth it.
It's not,
You
man.
gotta show up
And
to work.
Yeah.
Because I go to another gym too, like a private one. And I told my trainer about it, and he's like, bro, when will mans, like you were saying, he was
Yeah.
like, bro, when will mans learn to let ball go?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to let it go.
You have to let it go.
You have to let it. It's a
You have to
tough.
let it go.
It's a tough let go, but yeah,
You gotta let it go, man.
it's like holding onto a knife, and like the longer you hold on to it, the more pain it causes.
And as you're getting older, it seems like it gets harder for guys to let go.
But yo, this is the thing. My dad, he's like 60. He's 65. Still hoops. He's with a whole cohort of guys that are like 50 up, still in trap. These guys travel around the world in like senior leagues, competing with other guys, former leaguers.
That's heavy.
It's crazy. And I asked them, like, yo, how do you stay injury free? They're like, we don't. We still get injured. I'm like, oh, you guys are committed then.
I can't do that.
It's different. Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. It's I'm planning to let it go, but it's tough, man. It's tough.
You can't. It's just not worth it. It's just that the risk is not worth the
You know
reward.
what it is though? It's the cardio for me. I hate running laps. I hate
Yeah.
getting on a treadmill.
Running
It's
is so
just-
boring.
It's so boring, man.
The crazy thing is, some of the best cardio is literally just walking.
Yes, you said that earlier. Yeah.
Walking is like, I don't know. You obviously it's got to be like a brisk walk, but compared to like the running and all that wear and tear and all that stuff, basketball, like those things are just too high risk. And it's
Yeah.
not worth it. Like, what are you getting out of it? There's no chip. There's no bread.
It's ego.
Oh, it's ego.
It's
Yeah.
just ego.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I knew I just wasn't cut out for basketball. Cause I don't care enough. Like, you know, like I'm competitive, but when it gets to a certain point, especially like at the gym and stuff, like I'm not gonna be the guy at LA Fitness and we're arguing over calls and bro, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah, it's not as
now we're going super hard and
too much.
fouling people in the air. I'm not doing that, bro.
Saga YMCA
got
was notorious for that, bro. Oh my
The
goodness.
two were, I'll tell you, the Y in Saga, and there's one specific LA Fitness in Brampton. If you hoop, you know the one on Bouvard and Chinguzi.
It's different.
The worst. Oh my god, it's the trenches.
Oh man, terrible. Tough system. Tough system. But yeah, I'm past that, man. I'm past it very much.
It's just this identity of the city, man. Like,
Yeah.
hoops is so ingrained in the culture.
Yeah, but it's also we're in an interesting time now where we all transitioned away from it, and I'm actually so happy and I'm so proud of that because I know guys are still suffering through that transition. It's kind of fun to
go.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
7th year JUCO, trying to get a scholarly.
seventh year JUCO, 7th year OCAA. It's
Give it up. Stop it. Stop it.
you know what the problem? You know what the problem is though? Is there's no one around them telling them this, right? They have people supporting them in that decision, right? And then there's no one really. I actually had one of my close homies sit me down. This is during the pandemic, 2020. I say 2020. He sat me down. He said, "Yo, Andre." He looked at my face. He's like, "Bro, do you still love what you're doing?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of." But it wasn't a serious yes. I had to really rethink. It was Kaon, bro. Shout out to Kaon, and he kind of made me pivot, no pun intended, into what I'm doing now. And just, I'm so thankful for that because I realized the older I got, the more time I invest into the sport. When I put the ball down, I'd have nothing to sit on. Like the resume would look a lot less. You know, everything would look a lot less, and it was important for me.
I saw a crazy stat the other day. Less than I think around 5,000 people have ever played in the NBA. Like all time.
Yeah, it's like 400 people in total in the league.
5,000 from the beginning of the sport.
Yes.
Holy smokes!
Think about that for a second. 5,000. It makes sense.
It makes sense, I think.
There's how many people in the league?
There's like I think there's like 400.
490 seasons.
400.
Okay, 400.
It's like 12 to 15 people a team.
Average career is probably what, 7 years?
Yeah.
If you're good,
6,
if you're
7, if
healthy.
you're good,
longer, some are in and out.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's like a 0.001%.
Like less than
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
bro. Like it's
yeah.
it's
Did you ever see that clip that when Austin Rivers was talking about how basketball is the most delusional sport? That like people think that they're way better than they are.
Yeah.
Like people
Oh, yeah.
genuinely think that they could guard him or play in the NBA and they don't realize the skill gap. I think that's another reason why I stopped playing as early as I did, because I'm like, the skill gap is clearly like, because like I knew those other guys like Bennett and Naz and all those guys. I'm like, all right,
Dylan, Eli was it was a tough, it was a competitive. That Saga YMCA, man, I'm telling you, like breeded some of the best hoopers in Canada, hands down. Like there was, if you were in Ontario at the time, like you had a strong chance you've been there at one point in time. It was different.
And so much has to go right. Like you have to, like, so many things. You have to have like a right head on your shoulders. You got to get lucky a few times. Like it's not
go
just
to the right school, have the right coach.
Yeah, it's a business, but also you have to have like from young. Like there's guys getting set up. I remember grade 5, grade 6, people playing center that are 5'10" just because they're tall.
No, you're cooked.
By the time they get to grade 9, they're
cooked.
it's
that specifically was Canada propaganda.
Oh,
If
terrible.
you were tall, you're a center.
You're a center.
Yeah, you're trying to get up the court. Get your ass on the block and learn these sky hooks.
You better drop step.
Word.
Talking about
You're 6 foot playing center. Americans would laugh. They laughed at us.
They do laugh.
Man,
They
bro.
did.
Laughed at us.
Bro.
6 foot playing center, doing the dream shake. We were cooked from the beginning. We had no
you're set
chance.
up.
We had no
Yeah.
chance, bro.
But that's so. How long was that trip? Like you were there for like a week or?
Yeah, I was there for a week.
Okay.
And then I was actually gonna go straight to London from there, but I didn't want to give up the business class flight back.
Yeah. I was in London.
Definitely fun.
I was in London last year too myself, and that was the first time I ever been to Europe. It was phenomenal,
I love London.
bro. I want to go. I was thinking of moving there, bro. I'll be honest with you.
I would go spend some time. I would
Yeah.
move permanently because there's just too many like little inconveniences that I wouldn't like.
You know what got me? You know when you walk across the road, and how like when we walk across the road, cars turn. Bro, I'm looking and I'm like, holy smoke, because
I
cars
almost got
turn.
hit
Yeah,
mad
same.
times, looking the wrong direction and stuff.
Bro, they have arrows on the walkway to tell you where to walk, and it was so confusing to me. I thought I was walking backwards most of the time.
Different
Jason's
system.
in the background, laughing his ass because he knows what I'm talking about. It's like
Also, I don't like that there's no highways in the city.
yeah,
Like it takes so long to get everywhere.
yeah.
There's like no ACs in the houses.
There wasn't AC heaters? Oh,
Nah,
shit.
bro.
Yeah, I
Most
guess it's
houses
pretty
don't
old.
have
Yeah.
AC.
Yeah.
It's hot. Like when it's hot, it's
Yeah.
hot. Just stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. And they need to update the roads. Like you should not still have cobblestone roads.
I actually like that though.
Winding
I like that.
aesthetically,
I
but
like
when
that.
you're driving on it, it's a
It's
nightmare.
terrible. Yeah,
winding
It's terrible. It's a
trail
lot of-
roads in 2025.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. But in terms of culture, I love London. I love that everyone's like very connected to where they come from and proud of it. Like the Africans rep hard, the West Indians rep hard. Like everyone who's like wherever they're from, people rep it super hard.
I know they have an amazing not Caravana, freaking
Carnival?
parade carnival. Yeah,
Notting Hill
Or
Carnival,
Notting Hill's mod.
hands down the best carnival I've
Yeah?
ever been to. Even though I haven't been to that many, but
Yeah.
I loved Notting Hill Carnival.
I
That
heard-
was
yeah.
so fun.
I heard they're doing some damage out there.
Yeah.
You ever been to Motherland?
No, but I would go.
You would go?
I would go for sure. I I feel like I would need a first class flight.
Have you-
It's
you've
too
been?
long?
No, not
You
yet.
got to make that trip, man. I'm trying to do
yeah.
because I have some family in Gambia. I did an ancestry test. One of those
Why?
DNA. I know.
I did it too.
I did it.
You
know
know
what it
where
is?
your family comes
No,
from.
no. This is the thing. No. Hold on. My mom's side is Jamaican. My dad's side is American. He's just an African American. You know what I mean? Like he's born in Michigan.
So
and
which one did you say has the white parents?
So my mom's Jamaican, but her dad's a white Jamaican.
Oh, okay.
His family is actually they're originated from it's from the DNA test from Germany and like from the like Wales, UK area.
Oh, okay.
But they like I know there's a lot of immigration from that time to Jamaica. So yeah, he's like a white Jamaican. But I did one of those tests and I figured out I'm from Western Africa, which I know a lot of Jamaicans are, which is Benin and Togo and Nigeria. And I'm like, I gotta visit because like I feel like I'd be doing myself a disservice if I didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people were just over there.
I heard they have some festival over there. And is it Ghana or?
I think people, I don't know if Dirty December is just Ghana. I know people go to Nigeria. They go to both. I think. I don't know when specifically, but I heard it in December it's lit.
One of my homies told me that. This guy from Ghana, yeah.
I did one too. I did 23andMe though.
Yeah. It's the same thing, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
because I know where my pops is from. He's Iranian, right? Like,
Yeah.
it tells about down to the town my grandparents are from. But my mom, she's black Iranian, but there was a slave trade and shit, obviously. And so her side, one side is like East African from Tanzania, and then her dad's side is from, because Congo and Angola and like Zambia used to be, there was no borders there back in the day. That was like the Europeans came and they divided it all up and took it. So her dad's side was like, it says Angolan Congolese, you know, so like that's sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is really eye-opening.
Did you ever did it connect you with other relatives?
It does on the app, yeah, but
Did you ever?
Are you reaching out?
I'm not reaching out.
I know it's real because it identified with people that actually know my life. Like, of course, my parents, but it also identified
for
with
real?
cousins. Yeah.
Like it shows you on the app?
It shows you, and it shows the strength, like the percentages of shared DNA you have with everyone. It's crazy.
That's kind of wild.
That's when I knew, like, okay, this is I'm like, it's so technical.
No, 23andMe didn't give me any of that. It just told me that there's X amount, this percentage that you might go bald. This percentage that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just give me the numbers, the stats.
You're good.
Hey, that's another thing that we got to start thinking about.
Hey.
We're at that age now. We're at the age where it's like some of the homies are losing it.
Top off.
Some of them lost it already.
Yeah.
Some of them holding on.
Your corners might be fading a little. My corner right here.
Hey, mine's
like
going. Mine's going, fam.
That's the Congolese in you.
Like, facts. I remember there was one day I was looking in the mirror and I was like,
hey, what's going on here?
I was like, no. No, it's starting. No.
You're not doing the turkey trip?
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I was considering it, bro. I won't hold you.
I can't say I would never do it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would do it unless it got like bad.
Yeah.
Like, it'd have to get bad before I go.
There's some things we could do now. Like, I've been doing some research on it. Like, I think it's like the DHT that really helps. DHT is essentially what makes the hairline recede. It's like it's a growth hormone that's in all men, but there's certain foods that block it, so it prevents it from escalating further.
What are the foods?
Pumpkin seed oil.
Wow.
Pumpkin seed oil does a great job. Blueberries.
Do any of those stuff actually work? Because I see people like derma rolling their hair and rosemary oil and all this type of stuff, and it doesn't.
There's a guy on TikTok that has his own rosemary thing. He's been doing it for like 2 years, and he said, "You know what I'm talking about?" And then he just ended up getting a transplant.
Yeah,
he's like, "I give up."
It didn't work at all.
That's crazy.
Everyone was cooking him for that because he's like, he's selling this product to people hoping their hair would grow, but he's like, all right, just go to Turkey, man. What am I doing? Yeah,
it's a harsh reality that we gotta. People
say that women have a clock and men don't, but like, we do have a clock.
Yeah,
it's our hairline.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
I feel no ways. I'll take that trip.
Why would you have to take the trip? You have a full head.
No,
of
you're
hair,
good
so.
still. You're
good.
good.
I know, but you know,
your dad's bald though. Right?
My dad's
He's
bald.
balding. Yeah.
Oh.
But he didn't start balling until like 45.
Oh, so you might be good. You might
got some time.
Yeah. You might
By
be
then,
straight.
like, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. At that point, it's like,
yeah,
you're hugged, man.
Once you have your family, like, it don't really matter.
Yeah, no, I hug the baldness. There's guys, because there's guys that go into it with grace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think if you can go into it gracefully, you're good.
Yeah.
Right?
It really depends how you look, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's easier if you have a beard.
Mm-hmm.
You could cut it off.
Like, I'm thinking like Morris Chestnut. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking Morris Chestnut. I'm thinking, who else, man? Even Denzel's going to it gracefully, man. He's 70
old.
now, but
he's old.
Denzel's been
guy.
old since I was young.
No, you know who's been old since I was young? Morgan Freeman. Yes, brother. When was he young?
I don't remember ever seeing
That guy, but he doesn't age. Like, he's been that same age for. I'm like,
well, he's also black, so you already know how it.
True.
Black don't crack.
True.
So he's probably like. So I don't know, man. The balding thing. I think we're good. I've seen a lot of guys with that top off really early.
Yeah.
Like the signs are like.
Some people. What I don't understand is, like, in the 90s when dudes were doing it like on purpose early. Because when you think about it, like, Kobe was bald in high school.
Yeah, that was odd.
Vince Carter was bald in high school.
Mm-hmm.
For what? Like, you have hair.
Yeah.
And then you grew back the afro in the league. So why were you bald in high school?
D-Wade did it.
Lamar Odom was bald in high school.
Could have been like a
D-Wade
school
did it in
rule
the
or something like
Olympics.
that. You know, a lot
That's
of
a crazy school rule. Actually,
no.
no.
Yeah, a lot of you from
There's,
schools don't let you have long hair and shit.
There's NHL teams that do that. One of my homies on the NHL team, he had dreads. They made him cut it all off. You guys will have to have a level 2.
Sounds racist.
They're
They're not telling Max and Connor to cut their hair.
I know it's specific teams though. That's what they said. It's specific teams, but I don't know.
In the NBA, once you go bald, your overall goes up by like 10
It does.
points.
Yeah. 2K rating goes up by at least 10.
Bald
At
D
least
Wade was
10.
the best.
That Olympic D Wade brother.
He was bald.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, Bosch was bald in the beginning. We had a level 1, I think. Right?
No, when he went to Miami, he cut it down.
bald,
He cut the
right?
dreads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's
bro.
different, man. Would you go bald right now?
Hell no.
What if someone paid you?
See, the thing with bald now is like, because I've seen a couple people do it. Some like, you know, I know a dude that did it for a movie. I know one dude that went to Mecca and shaved his head. And it takes a while to, even when you grow your hair back, like it doesn't come back just regular. Like, it takes a while for your hairline to.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it. I couldn't do it right now.
I do it for a role.
I'd be scared.
I'd be scared.
I do it for a role.
I don't know if I would
bag
do
is
for a
big
role.
enough.
I do it for a role.
For any role, or if the bag.
No,
is big
it has to
enough?
be. It has to be a role I align with, of course. I mean, Alex was developing something right now that actually requires me to shave my head.
Like
That's what
50
I'm
Cent
down
in
for.
that movie, you know,
Like,
in the
remember-
hospital.
Then he was
He's
like,
like 100 pounds.
I was like, I couldn't even recognize this guy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It was insane.
Man, I couldn't do that. That's why I'm a creator, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to take those risks yet. Just send me on the brand trips and to the camps and
I
stuff.
mean, a little first class business.
Yeah, I'll do that. I was telling him before how like a lot of these like big companies, like camera companies and stuff, they got camps now where like there's like Sony creator camps where they're flying you to Switzerland and you're trying all the newest gear and they're giving you free cameras and all this type of stuff. Like, life is crazy, man.
Hey man, it's like it's changed. The game has changed, man. It's moved away from like, you know, companies and corporations, put the power back into, you know, hands of the creators and stuff like that.
And the type of money that people are making. Like, I know certain people and certain creators that like it doesn't even sound real, bro. Like, I'm in some people's close friends and they're posting like their contracts and stuff, and dudes are getting $70K for a brand deal, $100K for a
Per
brand
post?
deal.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I have
bro.
the utmost respect for that because even before this episode, we're talking about people just diving into it full throttle and leaving that 9 to 5. It's so impressive, man. I was at a party the other day, probably a couple weeks ago, and I met this content creator that did that dive like 2-3 years ago. They're just fully content creating. I'm like, the idea of that 10 years ago, 15 years ago wouldn't make any sense. People will look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're gonna support your lifestyle off of a camera. I'm like, oh my goodness, but that's the age we're in. Like you're saying, like it put the powers back in our hands to create what we want, right?
Yeah. Even when I started, like, being a YouTuber was a thing, but it wasn't a thing that was widely accepted yet. Like, it wasn't a lot of us. Like, I remember at the beginning, it wasn't a lot of us. It was like 4 y'all, that dude McFly, Femi, Latoya Forever, and a couple other people like Lath and Slinky and Shan.
There's a handful of creators.
It was like a handful. It was not a lot of people at all. So, just to see where everyone's gone too. Shout out to 4 y'all. They have their show.
Yeah.
I need to be on season 2. I didn't get the call for season 1. I need the call for season 2. I told them that at the premiere. I need the call for season 2. All of that, bro. Marlon's killing it. Everyone's killing it, honestly.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of
Has
a
a lot of
renaissance, man.
Toronto.
We're in a renaissance, yeah.
We're in the middle of a renaissance, I feel like. And like, I feel like you had to be kind of doing something before the pandemic to like, so that the pandemic kind of exponentially expedited your wave. If you were doing something, you know what I'm
A
saying?
lot of people did start in the pandemic as well, but honestly, I think, I don't want to say we're at a disadvantage being in Canada, but depending on what you're doing, Like
We are at a disadvantage.
we kind of are.
Absolutely.
I was trying to be positive, but we kind of
We are.
Bro, I had a meeting with like people from TikTok, and I literally asked them, I'm like, yo, how come every time I'm in the States and I upload, I get more views than here? And they literally just said, yo, there's more viewers.
Yeah.
That's it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's as basic
Yeah.
with every business, anything you do.
Any industry.
The market's just bigger down there. It's like we were talking about. There's 40 million people in Canada. There's 350 million people in the States.
Same size as California.
It's just
Yeah.
literally a numbers game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. It gets crazy. That's why I get why like
Yeah.
Trey and Jay moved to the States, or why certain people leave and then come back, and it's an accelerator. Like I don't think like you don't have to leave, but like if you can do it in 2 years, you want to do it in 2 instead of in 10.
Yeah,
staying in
yeah.
the place that you're at, you know. So
With
I
you
get it.
being one of the original kind of creators in YouTube, especially in the city, what would some piece of, like, what advice would you give to someone just starting out now, knowing where the space is and how it's developed so far?
Man, I would say, first of all, you have to just start. I think people wait for the right time. I don't think you have to do that. Even if you're scared or embarrassed that your friends or whoever is gonna think it's cringy, like people think everything is cringy until it works. So you definitely need to just start. Also, take advantage of what's going on right now, because the market is super saturated, but I think it's easier than ever to really blow, because now you at least see the blueprint. Like I say, pick like 4 or 5 creators that you love and just study them. Like, why do you like them? What type of videos do they do? Does it align with stuff that you do? Like, and also I'd say try different platforms, see which one you like, because everything isn't for everybody. It's easier to like blow up on one and then kind of pivot the audiences to other places. Like I started on YouTube, but YouTube was never really my thing. Like short form content was more where I thrived. So that's what kind of brought me more success. And then you try to bring it to other places. I'm still trying to move everyone over to YouTube as well, but
It's tough.
yeah, I think now like people, the biggest advantage that they have is that there's a blueprint now. Like you've seen people do it over and over and over and over, so you kind of know what to do. You have things like Chat GPT that could literally help you do anything. Like you could literally type in Chat GPT, I want to start making content. I like playing basketball, but I don't know what type of videos to make. Give me 30 ideas for videos that have to do with basketball, and it'll give it to you, and you just do it. Like there's so much resources now.
There's no excuses.
There's none.
There's no excuses anymore.
No excuses at all. Everyone has a smartphone. It's not like back then when it's like you had to use a camera that was like 240p or like a webcam. Like, yeah, I started making videos on my computer's webcam camera. Like those
That's crazy.
videos were terrible.
Do you remember we had to send text to Twitter in order to tweet?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
3 after 6 p.m., 100 texts a month.
Oh my god!
Like these kids don't know
They
what
don't
that
know-
is.
they don't know that life. They don't know that struggle.
The QWERTY keyboards, bro. That when
Yeah,
the QWERTY
the
keyboards came in,
keyboard.
I think that was different. But
Yeah, bro.
I just
Now,
had to type one number 4 times to just get the letter
Yeah.
B. Like,
going on MSN,
oh man,
webcam, no sound.
that's
Like,
different. That's
They like now everyone has whatever phone you have now, because odds are 9.9 out of 10 people have a smartphone. Every phone you have now at least shoots 1080p, if not 4K. You could do everything
Anything
on
on
your
1080p,
phone.
absolutely.
And that's another thing that I would say, gear does not matter.
It never mattered.
Yeah. Now that I'm getting into tech a lot more, like I'm kind of, even though I'm buying more gear and stuff, I'm definitely doubling down on like pushing that to the audience that like you don't need a fancy camera and a fancy mic. If the story's good, it's good. Like the fancy equipment is not gonna make your stuff better.
I always see people online like, oh, like what kind of camera should I have? Da 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 da. And it's like, bro, like
Whatever you got.
whatever you got.
Start with whatever you got. And of course, if you're young, I don't know if TikTok's gonna still be around, but TikTok, Instagram Reels is pushing stuff out. YouTube Shorts, like all that type of stuff. That TikTok stuff really it's gonna piss me off.
yeah.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that? You think that TikTok's actually gonna get banned?
But I don't know. I I personally don't think so. I feel like there's too much money being made on that for it to just disappear. But I mean, it happened to Vine, so
Oh my
It's-
god.
But Vine was
Bro.
different though. Vine was an acquisition, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but
I don't think it was a ban. I think a company bought
It
them.
didn't get banned, but like they stopped just working on the app and Vine fell off. So I don't know. It's possible with TikTok, but I don't think it'll get banned. But what are the odds? My biggest platform is the one that they're trying to ban. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm 50-50 on it. Like it could go, but it could stay. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man, because Canada definitely regulates a lot of media. Like the fact that we're on Instagram and we can't even view the
The
Toronto
news?
Star, or
Yeah.
the CB, whatever.
kinda crazy
It's
still.
very crazy. I tried to show someone a post the other day. I'm like, I just got reminded, like, wow, I can't see news from my own country, which is, it's kind of ironic. It's very backwards, but
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's just so many opportunities. Also, I'll say there's a niche for everything. So whatever you're interested in, like you can build a community off of that. And it doesn't even have to be a big community. For you to really make money, it doesn't have to be a big community. Like if you're on Twitch subscribers, or if you're on Patreon, if you could get 1,000 people to pay $5 a month for your subscription, you're good. You're good off 1,000 people. Like you don't need 10 million followers to really make any money, you know? So
Yeah, and I think the numbers can kind of intimidate people sometimes from starting that journey. Is knowing, all right, I got to get a mil, I got to get 10. No, it's start here and build up to that, right?
that too. No, the numbers don't matter at all. The numbers definitely don't matter. And that's kind of where I'm at this year. I feel like the last couple years I was definitely like I had number goals that I was trying to hit. And this year now I'm not really focused on my number goals. Now I'm trying to more like make certain types of content like that I really want to make, and also I have more like money goals than number goals. Cause then also I was noticing being in the creator space, I'm like, okay, like there's people that have way less followers than me,
Make
that are
more
making
money.
way more bread than me. So it's like, all right, what are they doing that I'm not doing?
What's the conversion?
Like,
Yeah.
let me try to start. And that's why I started, kind of pivoting a bit of my content. So like, yeah, definitely have a plan. I'll say you have a start, but have a plan. Like you got to know where you're walking. You can't just be, if you're running around in circles, you'll get nowhere. You got to at least be running a certain direction.
Yeah, direction's more important than speed, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Yeah, we're in 2025 now. I hope everyone has their goals set. I got my resolutions.
What about acting?
I used to be with an agent like years ago. Like I had an agent. My thing is, I just don't like the audition process. I never liked the fact that someone else decides if I get this role or not. Like it's not up to me. And then also the thing that pissed me off is I would be going on auditions and I'd be killing the auditions. But like if you don't fit the role, you're not gonna get it. It doesn't matter how good you do.
That's
So-
literally why we started making movies ourselves.
so
Yeah.
that concept makes no sense to me. Like the casting directors are like, whoa, like, did you have this script before? Like that was really good. But nope, it doesn't matter. Like
could be the-
why am I at and this is a true story, why am I at a commercial audition about for an insurance company talking about consolidating debt? And I'm 19 years old. Obviously, I'm not gonna get the part. Like, so now I'm just wasting my time, even though the casting director says I'm good. And yeah, I get it, familiar faces and stuff. But, bro, I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to every audition. They tell me I'm doing amazing, and I still got nothing. There was one PlayStation commercial. They told me to go out for like an extra, like a football player.
Yeah.
I went. I did good. They said, hey, we like you. We want you to audition for the main role of the commercial. Call back. I did that. Boom, we really like you. Call back again. Now we're doing stunts. They have us on mats jumping over stuff, running with guns, sliding, flipping, and jumping. Oh, yeah. Sorry, we went with someone else. And then I'm like, okay, well then, like,
Where's the competition?
no, but not even that. It's like, okay, I made it to top 3. You pick someone else. At least give me the small part that I went for at the beginning. Now I just get nothing.
Yeah,
that's
Waste of
crazy.
time, bro.
crazy.
I don't like that.
So you were auditioning when it was still in person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Different times.
definitely. It was like 2018.
Yeah, different
maybe.
times. I
So I
remember
was
those
doing
days.
that, and then
I don't. I
Yeah.
wish I was.
I remember those
and
days.
then creators started like it started getting to that point now where creators were just getting handed scripts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, this is what I wanted. This is what I want to get to the point where like my brand is so big that people are presenting scripts to me, and it's been working. I shot a pilot for a TV show, and like they just hit me.
I saw that on your page.
Yeah.
What was? Is that a drama? What was that about?
No, it's like a workplace. It's almost like it's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine
Okay.
type of vibe.
Yeah.
It's really good. So they're pitching it. Hopefully that gets picked up. But that was fun. But I 100% definitely want to do TV and acting. Even the way that people are finessing it, like Kai Cenat, where it's like Kai's in every commercial now.
Yeah.
Kai's getting
Drewski.
presented.
Drewski's another
in
guy, yeah.
Everything like that's the type of lane I'm trying to go down.
It's
for sure.
good. It's good because when you have your own autonomy, you can create and you can make your own things. But like you're saying, so much of it is outside of our hands. We don't control anything. One of my acting teachers, she had this story about this casting director that didn't cast someone because it reminded them of their ex.
Like, come on, bro.
Things like that is just.
I have bills.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not my fault that I look like your ex.
It's
That's
nasty
so
work.
wild.
It's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
it's a turbulent industry we're in, man.
Word.
But that's why you got to be in that, like, the position you've taken of like, just I'm gonna make the thing. I'm gonna create, control my own destiny. There's no more excuses.
Exactly. Now you could make a short film, put it on YouTube, it gets picked up by Netflix, and now you're up.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's really how it can be.
It's in our hands. Yeah, it's in our hands.
Life.
Life.
I think we've been needed to
Oh,
wrap it
man,
up.
I will lie to you.
People,
I see
people,
man in the
people in the back of it going like this.
Hey man,
For
sometimes you
bad
can't.
long.
Yeah,
Sometimes
it's
it's
tough,
just
man.
good conversation.
Oh,
You gotta let it
man.
run, man. You gotta let it rock.
Yeah.
You guys know what it is, man. Tresor,
Sure, it's a
you know,
pleasure, man.
in the
Thank you
cut.
for pulling
No
up, man.
problem.
You
You know what I'm
already
saying?
know,
Thank
brother.
you guys
Appreciate you.
for having me. Keep doing what you guys are doing. I rate it. I love seeing people from the city doing stuff, people that are actually serious, because that's the thing that I've been seeing a lot is just over the years, like people just aren't serious. And like that's why a majority of the time I was doing a lot of stuff myself just because I couldn't find people that were serious. So I like that you guys are taking this seriously, doing your thing. You know, keep it going.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, likewise, man. Likewise, we watching, we paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, you guys can find him on all streaming platforms because he be making bangers.
Every platform.
Every
On
platform.
Tons.
For sure.
And don't be surprised if you see him on the big screen.
Definitely.
Very shortly. Don't be surprised if you see him on our screen.
Yeah, hey, I'm
You
about
know what
it.
I'm saying? We'll be talking.
Don't be surprised.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in.
Just like
Just
that.
like that.
We gone.